Alright, 2022 is officially upon us, and you know what that means. It's time to count down my top 10 most anticipated movies of the entire year. Except this time, I'm changing things up. I'm going to include TV shows on this list. I mean, after all, this is a movie and TV show channel, so I may as well include TV shows too. But before I dive into my top 10 most anticipated movies and TV shows of 2022, I have to talk about my honorable mentions. First off, we have no idea if The Boys Season 3, Invincible Season 2, Loki Season 2, Barry Season 3, and The Mandalorian Season 3 are even coming out this year, because they have not been officially confirmed for 2022 yet, so I'm not including them on this list. Anyway, my honorable mentions begin with Knives Out 2. The first one was good, the cast is great, I love the whodunit theme. Nope is Jordan Peele's newest movie. We don't know anything about this one yet, but he did release a poster. Us is one of my favorite movies of the century, so of course I cannot wait for Nope. Thor Love and Thunder, if it's anything like Thor Ragnarok, I'll be ecstatic. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the first one was a ton of fun, and this time around we get not only the cast of the original, but also Tails and Knuckles. Creed 3, the first two were excellent, and I'm sure this one will be similar, but I am curious if the plot of Creed 3 will differentiate from the first two. We already endured two fights. At this point, how could they possibly surpass Creed 1 and 2? The Lord of the Rings show on Amazon Prime. I am a fantasy buff when it's done well, and the Lord of the Rings trilogy is one of the greatest trilogies ever made and undoubtedly the best fantasy movies of all time. Finally, Lightyear, the spin-off Pixar movie that's about the actual Buzz Lightyear. I have no idea what to expect out of Lightyear, but I'm sure since it's the second Pixar movie released in 2022, it's going to be the superior one, as usually the Pixar movie that's released in the summertime is typically a Pixar classic. Now with those out of the way, let's get right into the top 10. Number 10. At the 10 slot is Bullet Train. I wanted to include one movie that's not already an IP because we have so many people talking about the same movies for this year already, and Bullet Train looks like it has potential to be an action spectacle with director David Leitch, who directed Hobbs and Shaw, Deadpool 2, Atomic Blonde, and was involved in the making of John Wick. So clearly the man knows how to direct action. The plot revolves around 5 assassins aboard a fast-moving bullet train, and they all find out their missions have something in common. That's a really interesting plot. The cast is great with the likes of Sandra Bullock, Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Michael Shannon, Zazie Beetz, Logan Lerman, Hiroyuki Sanada, and Brian Tyree Henry. I'm calling it right now. Bullet Train will be the most explosive movie of 2022. Number 9. At number 9 is Jurassic World Dominion, or Jurassic World 3. I really do enjoy the Jurassic Park universe, especially the first two movies, and Jurassic World was okay. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom was admittedly terrible, but I do have high hopes for Jurassic World Dominion, because finally, after two movies, the dinosaurs are roaming free, wreaking havoc all across the United States. And I just want to see how far they'll go with this concept. How many people will die on screen? Will it be a violent movie? Or will they just beat around the bush and rush through the entire film? That's absolutely a possibility. Whatever the case may be, I'm excited because the dinosaurs are officially free. Number 8. The 8th spot goes to The Batman. Matt Reeves, director of the Planet of the Apes trilogy, teams up with Robert Pattinson, and everyone is wondering, just how good will Pattinson be as Bruce Wayne? Will he be better than Christian Bale or Ben Affleck? I'm also wondering how dark this movie will be. Will it stay true to the source material? If all the characters will be well utilized, like Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, Andy Serkis as Alfred, Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, Paul Dano as the Riddler, and Colin Farrell as Penguin. This movie has so much potential, but will it live up to the hype? Number 7. At 7, I have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2, or Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. The first movie was so good, the animation blew everyone away. Sony truly outdid themselves. And I have a feeling the sequel will connect to the MCU or Sony's Spider-Verse, like the Venom movies or Morbius or even Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Eventually, I have a feeling we'll see this version of Miles Morales in live action meeting Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Will it happen in this movie, and what are the lengths Across the Spider-Verse will go to get fans as crazy about this one as they did about the original? Number 6. Placing 6 is Stranger Things Season 4. I am a sucker for the Duffer Brothers show on Netflix. The first 3 seasons were some of the best television I've ever seen. And there's no doubt that Stranger Things has become Netflix's hottest commodity, so obviously fans have been awaiting Season 4 for quite some time now. The last season came out in 2019, and even though Season 3 was similar to Seasons 2 and 1, it was still great. So again, I'm curious, what will the story be in Stranger Things Season 4? Will it be an exact replica of the last few seasons? Will we see the Upside Down again? Who will the villain be? There are so many questions I have about Stranger Things Season 4 and cannot wait till it comes out this summer. Number 5. Number 5 is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It was only 3 short weeks ago when I saw this trailer for the first time at the end of SpiderMan No Way Home, and I'll be honest, I was not that excited for this movie. But after giving it a lot of thought, this actually is a movie I'm really excited for because, in a way, it's kind of like the Spider-Man No Way Home of 2022. Why do I say that? Well, it's because what were we all looking forward to so much in Spider-Man No Way Home? It was the reappearance of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And now that I think about it, it's very likely we see tons of familiar faces in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm not sure who's going to make a cameo, but I guarantee you there will be more than enough fan service in this movie. What I'm mostly hoping for is the MCU debut of the X-Men. Imagine the reaction this movie get if Hugh Jackman came back as Wolverine, or James McAvoy as Professor X, and Michael Fassbender as Magneto. People would lose their minds. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Ben Affleck back as Daredevil or Eric Bana back as the Hulk. I think you have to include all those people, and as long as this movie does things better with the villains as well as with character development over that of Spider-Man No Way Home, I think I'll enjoy this movie more. Number 4. House of the Dragon is a show I'm both ecstatic for and terrified of. I'm ecstatic for it because the first 6 to 7 seasons of Game of Thrones were some of the most fun I've ever had watching TV. I literally binged this show over the course of a month. I could not get enough of Game of Thrones. It is hands down one of my favorite TV shows of all time. But the reason I'm terrified of it is because of 2 reasons. First, Game of Thrones Season 8 was a disaster. I know the only way you can go from there is up, but come on, Season 8 was terrible. It should have never happened that way. Secondly, it's a prequel, and I'm never that high on prequels unless they add something new to the franchise. At least George R.R. Martin is once again involved in the making of this show. So yes, I'm terrified that this show will bomb and be as bad as Game of Thrones Season 8, but then again, it's Game of Thrones. It's a prequel to Game of Thrones, the greatest show maybe of all time. I'm just gonna hold my breath until every episode of Season 1 is released. Number 3. My third most anticipated title for this year is Avatar 2. James Cameron has not directed a movie since the first Avatar. That was 12 years ago. You know why that is? It's because he's been working on 4 more Avatar movies. And the first of those we'll be getting is Avatar 2 this year, or so they say. This movie has gotten delayed so many times that I almost forgot it's even coming out in 2022, and now that it's almost here, I'm more than ready to see it. It should have come out years ago. Why they waited so long and why this movie was delayed for as long as it was, I'm not really sure. I guess they didn't have the technology to do the things they wanted to do, like the underwater motion capture stuff. But the first Avatar movie looks stunning. The visual effects are masterful, and James Cameron is a director I trust. The man has never done the audience dirty. He's always made great movies. Number 2. This should come as no surprise. Placing second and standing as my most anticipated movie of 2022 is Mission Impossible 7. My favorite movie of 2018 and the best action movie I may have ever seen is Mission Impossible Fallout. Ever since I saw that movie in theaters, I could not wait to not only rewatch that one, but to see Mission Impossible 7 and 8. To this day, when I watch Mission Impossible Fallout, the action blows my mind. It is so impressive how they were able to film it and choreograph everything. There's just so much to love about Fallout. Funny thing is, Mission Impossible Fallout was not one of my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2018. That's because I'm not that big of a fan of the first 5 Mission Impossible movies, only really Fallout. And if they once again go above and beyond with the stunts and the practical effects, I'll have my eyes glued to the screen. Simply put, if Mission Impossible Fallout was not a good movie, I would not be looking forward to Mission Impossible 7, but since it was great, I have high expectations for the 7th entry. Number 1. And of course, number 1 is none other than the ObiWan Kenobi series. Yes, this is both my most anticipated show and title of 2022. Going back to No Way Home, I was pumped when I saw the return of a few familiar faces. The characters in that movie were a massive part of my childhood. And the same goes for the characters in this Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Obi-Wan and Anakin, played by Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, have such a large spot in my heart. Like literally, Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker and Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn are on the same importance level as Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker and Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Those people playing those specific characters sum up my childhood entirely. My life would not be the same without those characters and the movies they're in. So that's exactly why Obi-Wan Kenobi is my most anticipated TV show and title of 2022. It's gonna be so good to see Ewan McGregor reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I really hope that Hayden Christensen gets more to do than just play Darth Vader behind the mask. I'm assuming they'll use the voice of James Earl Jones again if Darth Vader is to speak with the mask on, but personally, if Hayden Christensen is going to play Darth Vader in the suit, I want to hear him talk, and I want to see his face. I didn't wait this long to see Hayden Christensen the return to Star Wars for us to not hear him talk or see his face. If they do the right thing with this miniseries, it should be a blast from beginning to end. And there you guys have it. Those are my picks for my top 10 most anticipated movies and TV shows of 2022. If you also have the list for your most anticipated movies and shows of the year, definitely let me know down below in the comment section what that is. And of course, guys, as always, if you are new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic 2022.